traditional title holder in the sprawling city of Ibadan with the ultimate prize ahead of him. And of course, he is an entrepreneur. And of course, where we are seated today, Solutions 93.9 FM is one of his enterprises, the Awene Communications, the radio, and go to the communications business. Well, live in the studio with me already this afternoon is Oloye Taufik Adigboyega Adigoke, fellow Chartered Institute of Accountants, the Areonibo Balogun of Ibadan. And of course, beyond that title, by God's grace, there will be lifting again because the vacancies already exist. I most warmly welcome you this Sunday afternoon to the studio. It is a pleasure. A pleasure to have you.
Thank you very much.
Yes, we did this about a year ago. I've waited patiently.
Time flies.
Time flies. Time flies. I've waited patiently for a few things to happen, and I think we have a lot to talk about this afternoon.
No problem.
Thank you very much. It's a pleasure to have you. And thank you for already. I know you had to come in from Lagos this afternoon.
Yes.
Thank you very much.
Rush down to Ibadan this afternoon.
Thank you very much.
I just must honor the invitation.
Thank you very much. That's not taken for granted. Well, Nigerians are waiting out there with the wealth of your experience. The core of this conversation, we're going to be starting from the economy. I was reading somewhere this morning. The man, of course, said the president is not perturbed, he's not worried, simply because things will unfold in such a way that the economy will straighten out. He said inflation will straighten out. He said, he mentioned two things. He said, when Dangote and NNPC starts producing PMS, inflation will crash. And then the pressure on the Naira will be relieved, and then the economy will straighten out. And I said to myself, is that a silver bullet solution to Nigeria's problem?
Oh, well, thank you. Actually, yes, the inflation rate is the headline inflation is very, very high currently when you look at it. And we may say that part of the problem is because of the cost of foods, the food that we eat. I mean, everybody, if you listen to part of the crisis, the protest that happened,
Yes.
people were shouting a big power.
Yes.
That means there's hunger in the land. So inflation, the bulk of it is actually when you look at what led to the high inflationary rate in Nigeria. Food prices is one of it. If you go to the market, but because now things have started coming down, prices have started coming down. But don't be deceived, it's because of the season. Currently, we are in harvest season. People are harvesting. Tomato prices have crashed. Other food products are also coming down gradually. It's because even yam, prices of yam in the market now is coming down. So it's because this season, people are now harvesting new yam, new products from their farms. So, but now it means we have opportunity to quickly look at providing long-lasting solutions.
Sustainability.
That, yes, to sustain.
Beyond.
Yeah, beyond, because now is because people are harvesting new yam, new product from their farms, so prices are coming down, crashing, and inflation will definitely come down. It has started coming down actually gradually, bit by bit. But that's why I said we now need to look beyond this. What can we do to sustain that trend, that inflationary, that rate will continue to come down? What can we do to sustain it? So that is key. And one of it is, why can't farmers go to farm? That means, why? There are security issues. If you go to farm, you are afraid of being kidnapped. You don't want to go to your farm again. Or even in the north, in some part of the north, farmers pay the bandits to be able to go to their farm. So security, federal government has to, including the subnationals. When I say subnational, I mean the state government. They have to collaborate and work together. If not totally eliminate, but reduce the problem of security. so that farms can have confidence to go to farm. That's number one. It's key if you want inflation to come down. And also part of the problem we have is there's what you call imported inflation. Because Nigeria, we are import dependent. We import a lot of things. If we toothpick, you can imagine people sourcing for dollar to import toothpick, something we should be able to produce in Nigeria. So, and that means if there's inflation in that country from where you are importing from, there will be inflation, the price will go up. Do you understand now?
We are importing it.
Because that's why imported inflation. Because if there is inflation in, let's say, Russia now, and you go to Russia to import anything, the price of what you are importing will go up. Definitely.
It should be affected.
It will be affected. So that's what we call imported inflation. Because Nigeria, we are not really producing anything. And it's difficult. Even the little we are producing is at a very, very high cost. Because of cost of diesel, there's no electricity, the environment, the economic environment is really hostile. Yes, government keeps shouting friendly environment, economic environment.
Ease of doing business.
Ease of doing business, yes, they keep saying that. But we need to really, really put action in place to be able to achieve that. So inflation, yes, I tell you, inflation is very, it's over 30%.
It's over 30%.
Yeah, that is it. So it's over 30%. In this current economy, where look at it, Naira exchange rate to dollar is 1,600. So definitely it's not easy. People are not finding it easy. The economic situation is at a critical stage. But I tell you that, yes, it has started coming down gradually, but we need to sustain it. And what are the steps? And that's why I said government must now look at it that, okay, now what can we do to sustain it? Part of it is we need to improve on security, on security. So we need to improve on security so that farmers can go to farm. That is key, right? Cost of transportation is high. Government is saying, yes, we introduce CNG buses. They've been saying this for more than 1 year.
How many?
How many have they introduced? CNG, yeah, we know CNG is cheaper than diesel. But how many CNG buses do we have now in Nigeria? The current government has already spent more than 1 year in office. Yes. So, cost of transportation to bring onions from the north to the south, or to bring farm produce from the north to the south is very, very high. And it's because cost of diesel is high. Diesel is between 1,300 and 400, 1,003 and 1,004.
And almost unpredictable too.
Yeah, now. So the roads are bad. So you see, there's so many things. It's not just one item or one issue that led to the problem that we have. There are several of them. But all I want government to do is rank them and pick the most critical ones.
And address.
One of the most critical ones is the security issue. They need to address the security issue so that farmer can be rest assured that if they go to farm, they will not be attacked by herdsmen or anybody or bandits. That one is key. Then roads, they need to fix our roads. So the issue is not just that of federal government, it's subnational. Because we are practicing federal system of government, but the subnational, everybody keeps shouting federal government. What are the state governors doing?
And even the local government.
The chairman of local government? We accept it. One common practice in Nigeria is most of the chairmen are appendage of the governors. But even if that is the case, then if state governors want to turn them into their appendages, that means the state governors should step in and do what the local government are supposed to be doing.
Yes.
Fix the local roads, the rural roads. Give them water, give them boreholes. That is it. If you don't want local government to perform, then you have to step in and do
what they are supposed to do.
If you introduce consultants to collect all the revenue that local government should be collecting, if you now collect it at the state level, then you have to step in and fix all the roads, all the rural roads, all the trunk-C roads. That is it.
If you take the revenue, you must do the job.
You must do the job.
Okay, now, sir, areas of your expertise, oil and gas, every day since May 29, here on this station, we get confounded, we get confused. We don't even know where the challenge lies anymore. The issue we're going to be worry Porako 1 and 2 will be producing. Dangote will be doing PMS. They are not selling crude to Dangote. Where does the challenge lie?
You know, Nigeria problems is humongous. That is why I said we need to list our problem, rank them, analyze them, and then try to fix the one that will have maximum impact, positive impact on the populace.
Is NSBC critical? On
the citizenry. You see, first of all, the PIA, that is Petroleum Industry Act. It used to be called PIB. Yes, now PIA, Petroleum Industry Act. It's been enacted. And yes, it's been on the drawing board for how many years now?
Since the days of Obasanjo.
Yes, even before then. But you see, now it's been finally enacted. Though there's still a need for them to amend and do some other things in it. But at least it's an act.
We have a working document.
Okay, now we have a working document which we can always amend. That, to me, that is great. Now, you see, federal government has no business being in business.
NNPC, for instance?
That is why they privatize NNPC. And NNPC, the former name is Nigeria National Petroleum Corporation. Yes, sir. It's no longer, that C has been removed.
It's now air.
It's now
a business entity.
It's now a limited liability company. Yes, a limited liability company, no longer a corporation. Yes, meaning, though, when you look at it, that's what we call lifting the veil. But who are the shareholders? Yes, sir. It's still government because it's Ministry of Finance Incorporated and Ministry of Petroleum.
Still government entities.
That are the shareholders of NNPC. So I expect, in line with the Petroleum Industry Act, that NNPC by now should have taken steps to go public by selling part of the shares to Nigerians. By now, I expect NNPC to have taken steps rather than just the Ministry of Finance Incorporated, MOFI, and Ministry of Petroleum Resources, the two of them are just the shareholders. I mean, that means federal government is still the shareholders.
It's 100%.
100%. So by now, I expect NNPC to have been privatized, to have gone public and sell part of the shares to Nigerians. By now, they should have been listed on the Nigerian Stock Exchange. They can even raise funds from the floor of the house, from the exchange, rather than all these things that they are rigmarole that they are. But so they can raise funds. So no, wait. Yes, so part of the problem is NNPC itself, in line with the Petroleum Industry Act. Yes, it's been privatized, but they should not just stop at that. That's number one. They should
transit.
Then the refineries, the four of them, they are not working. One in Kaduna, one in Warri, two in Port Harcourt. I tell you, I said it during Abacha time, and I will still repeat it. Government should sell off the refineries.
Obasanjo did, sir.
But another government reversed it. Yar'Adua reversed it. You see the problem? Lack of continuity. Obasanjo sold it. But you see, if Obasanjo left it too late, he sold that towards the end of his tenure. So the incoming president then thought, or they told him, or misadvised him that, look, this was a trap set up for you by Obasanjo. Don't fall into it. Do you understand? Because Obasanjo left it for too late. He privatized and sold them towards the end of his tenure. And that was, and you remember, the labor unions, everybody was shouting, they were doing this, saying, no, we are not going to accept the privatization, we are not going to do this. So that came. I said, okay, no problem, I will reverse it. And he did, which was actually why Dangote now decided
to build his own.
To build his own. Because Dangote bought one of them.
Yeah.
So, but Yar'Adua reversed it. And that's another problem. Obasanjo should have, he didn't do it at the right time. But he did, but it was too late. And you remember, this is Nigeria, you know Nigerian politics. Once you are leaving government, whatever you are doing 3 months to the end of your tenure, people think you are just setting trap for the incoming government. People think, why did you do it when maybe he spent 8 years, for God's sake?
Why didn't you do it earlier?
So my advice is, government should sell off the 4 refinery.
Or even now?
Yes.
Okay, so
because
why do you say that?
technology have changed. Technology have changed. You see, the other day, somebody said NNPC posted their financial statement and this and that, and they made a profit of so.
3.2 trillion.
And I said, until we see the financial statement, that what is the makeup of the profit?
Mm-hmm.
What is the carrying value of the asset of the 4 refineries? Most of those assets are junk.
Junk.
Yes, I tell you. Technology have changed. Can you compare the type of equipment that is in Port Harcourt refinery or Warri or Kaduna to Dangote's refinery? It's not possible. Technology have changed.
But what about the billions voted of dollars
They
voted
keep
for them?
spending billions of dollars to do turnaround maintenance. What are they maintaining? Last year they said Port Harcourt refinery, well, why is it not work? Later they said it's mechanically completed.
What's the meaning of that?
That is it. You should have asked them now.
We keep asking.
They said mechanically completed, meaning they've coupled all the equipment, everything together, right? So they want to test run. That's what is mechanically completed. All the equipment, all the machines have been coupled together. It's just remaining to test run the refinery and the equipment to make sure that everything is okay. Normally you test run, but now it's close to 1 year that they said that.
Yeah. Yes.
So Port Harcourt refinery is still not working. I tell you, they need to sell off the 4 refineries because they are junk. I tell you. So that's why I said, what is the carrying value of the assets of those refineries? Because you see, like what happened in Enron that died in the US, is because Enron was debiting asset, meaning as if they have new asset, and they were crediting income in order to declare profit.
Mm-hmm.
Because
the bottom was
in the accounting, to every debit there must be a corresponding credit. So they were debiting asset as if they have assets. That's fictitious asset, and they were crediting income, so they were declaring profit. At the end of the day, the bubble burst because the assets were nowhere to be found. They were just book assets. So that is why I said, what is the carrying value of those assets, the refinery assets today? So government need to sell off the refineries. I tell you, to private investors. Say, and not just selling them, because if you just sell to those that don't know about that business, it's another problem. If you sell to your cronies and friends, like they did with the electricity privatization. Electricity privatization was not properly done, and that is why we are still where we are today in Nigeria. Jonathan didn't do a good job of it. Let me be sincere with you. They didn't sell to the right people that know how to, that know electricity business.
The technical capacity.
Yes, that have the technical capacity, the financial capacity, the expertise to run that electricity. They didn't sell to them. They said to their cronies and friends, and that is why we are here. We are where we are today. So, if government wants to be serious, they should sell the refinery to people that know what to do with the refinery, that can turn it around. That's number one. Number two, they should encourage modular refineries. These are portable refineries that they don't, not as gigantic as what Dangote did.
But people have licenses, they are not operating them.
Yes, how will you operate? If I were them, I would do the same thing because, for instance, somebody encouraged me, oh, Chief, why don't you have a petrol station? I said, it's not, the time is not ripe yet. He said, what do you mean? I said, until the petroleum industry is fully deregulated. I cannot go and borrow money and bring in fuel or buy petrol, and somebody will tell me how much to sell it. When banks is on my neck to get their money and interest. And that is why it's only an NPC that is importing fuel. It's only an NPC. When Tinubu said, our president, President Bola Tinubu said, subsidy is gone, a lot of businessmen in the industry started dusting their boots that yes, in fact, some have started bringing in fuels, importing fuels on their own, some private petroleum marketing company. They started bringing in fuel because that means you sell as you buy.
Yes.
You look at your landing cost and other costs.
And add value.
Yes. But when all of a sudden they introduce subsidy again because of cries and noise from the labor union and everybody, when they introduce subsidy again behind the scene, everybody now kept quiet because how can you bring in fuel and somebody will say sell at so amount? Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
So
regulation, that's even control, the wrong control, regulation.
Until the industry is fully deregulated. Fully deregulated. That is when you see people coming in to invest in the downstream. Building petrol stations, building modular refineries. Modular, not all these gigantic ones. So that you can easily get crude oil you can source your crude oil locally, buy it and then refine and sell. But until it's fully deregulated, nobody, I tell you, it's discouraging for you to borrow money from bank and be waiting for federal government to pay you subsidy.
But they say they don't pay subsidy anymore.
But they've all known last week now. They pay subsidy.
They say what the CFO said, that what they simply do is that when they import, the owner say sell it for so amount. That's what they sell it to the marketers. That they recover their costs from the profit of NNPC.
But no, what they told NNPC to do is this. Now, NNPC have been using its working capital to sustain this subsidy regime. Meaning, they bring it in at X amount, they sell at X minus Y. Sir? Where Y is the subsidy amount.
Factor itself.
So now they now said, look, federal government, our working capital has been depleted. We need money. Federal government now say, oh, we don't have money. We know you have been using your working capital to support this subsidy regime. Meaning, we have been asking you to sell below the cost price. So the dividend, at the beginning I said, the federal government is the shareholder. Yeah. Through Ministry of Finance Incorporated and Ministry of Petroleum Resources. Yeah. So federal government has said, instead of paying us dividend from the profit you make, use that
to cover
the subsidy, the under recovery. Use that to cover the under recovery. So it means NNPC actually need to tell us the total under recovery. So that we now see, okay, compare that to the profit or the dividend they have declared. Whether they still have under recovery or not. Whether the dividend is more than the under recovery or the other way around.
So we have a clear picture.
You see now. And that was why on the platform I asked another question. I said, is NNPC aware that government will ask them to use the profit to recover the under recovery?
Ahead of time?
If yes, has that affected the profit they declared?
Is it real profit they are declaring?
So what NNPC say, oh, this has always been my landing cost, but you have always been telling me to sell at a lower price. So I have under recovery, and it's affecting my working capital. Please, I need money. It's a question of semantics. They didn't use subsidy. I have under recovery. Do you understand? And it has
affected
my working capital, my cash flow. So please, I need your help. Oh, sorry, I don't have money to give you money to cover your under recovery. But the dividend you are supposed to pay us, because we are the owner of the company, we are the shareholders. Use it
to cover that
for the under recovery. So the question is, the two of them now need to come and tell us. Do you see?
Yes.
How much was the under recovery? How much
was the dividend?
The difference
Between the other recovery and the
And
dividend.
yes. So how much the federal government is still owing you?
Or if you leave this, I still profit.
Do you understand now? Which is why private individuals or marketers, downstream operators are not importing fuel. So they all rely on NNPC to import fuel, petrol, PMS. Like diesel now. You see different downstream operators are bringing in diesel.
Yeah.
Because it's fully
Private,
yes,
deregulated. Yeah.
Fully.
Yeah.
So they look at the landing cost, look at the other costs, add it to it, determine their add margin, and they sell. Have you ever heard that there's a scarcity
Of diesel?
No.
It's only the price.
It's only the price that have been fluctuating depending on what is happening to the crude oil prices in the international market.
Okay, sir. Now moving to the crude oil. One of the a major challenge that Dangote is facing is that he apparently expected, he said he didn't know that the challenge was going to be this enormous. He's not getting diesel from he's not getting crude from NNPC as he expected. A part of the PIA actually states that domestic crude allocation is a priority over export. Nigerians are asking, why do we not have crude to give?
It's a double-edged sword. We need forests to do other things in Nigeria. Part of the scarcity of forests is why our exchange rate today is 1.6 to $1. So, and the major source of forex for Nigeria is the sale of crude oil. So if I give all my crude oil to local refineries, which one am I going to sell to get dollar?
Dangote exports its products too, and it fetches a foreign exchange.
Which bank account is the money going into? Is it going into a CBN account or into an account that CBN controls? So you see, that's why I say it's a double-edged sword. I don't say federal government should not help local refiners, meaning local refinery operators like Dangote, like Midwestern. There are so many of them, not just Dangote. Dangote has the biggest refinery. So I don't say government should not help them. No, that's not what I'm saying. Government should help them. Even in line with the PIA, government should support them. But you see, what government needs to do is to enter into an agreement with them. That look, we also need dollar. Because if I sell everything to you in Naira, then there will be crisis. We will not be able to get dollar to support other imports or support our reserves. You know, every now and then, CBN will say our reserve is so amount, is so amount. So there wouldn't be any forex FX to support our reserves. We will not be able to build our reserves. So what government needs to do is this. Okay, come, Dangote, no problem. Or not only Dangote, local refiners, come. I'll give you crude oil. Then you need to bring in so percentage of the proceeds in dollar. You need to repatriate it back
and
to
make
Nigeria,
it available.
so that CBN will be able to support our reserves. Do you understand? So they must enter into an agreement that if I sell to you in Naira crude oil,
Which is a concession in itself.
yes, and you now refine and sell your product abroad and get for FX. It could be in pounds, it could be in dollar, it could be in euro. So now, certain percentage of that must be repatriated back to Nigeria. So they must, first of all, enter into that type of agreement and sign off that yes. Because it's not just one side that I give you in Naira and then I will be looking for FX to support my reserves, to support my balance of trade. So it's not good. It can't be. That's why I said it's double-edged sword. So because we need to sell crude oil to get effect. At the same time, we need to support the local refineries. So there must be. We have to balance it.
Must be balanced.
Do you understand
Yes.
now? So they have to sit and agree. Then and sign off. That's number one. Then number two, NNPC in the past had entered into agreement, forward agreement, with some institutions Say, look, borrow me 2 billion or borrow me 1 billion or borrow me 1.5 billion. I will pay back in crude, either 5,000 barrels per day or 8,000 barrels per day, as the case may be. So they are still doing that. They took money from Afrexim, from different institutions.
Not this government.
Yes, but NNPC had done that in order to support federal government. They are taking loan tied to crude oil. Say, look, for the next 5 years, we'll be giving you 8,000 barrels per day to pay back the loan. So they have to fulfill that agreement.
That's an obligation.
Yeah, that obligation. They have to meet it, they have to fulfill. Otherwise, when next they go to market, they will not see anybody that will listen to them. So that one, so that's why I said, so that one also is there. Coupled with the fact that they steal most of our crude oil theft. Yes, I think it's reducing because production is increasing. So if we can increase production to like 2 million barrels per day, you will see the difference. Currently, we are about 1.3. Imagine adding 700,000 barrels to it. It means you'll be able to pay back all those forward contracts that you enter into. You'll be able to meet all those agreements.
That does not impair our OPEC quota. OPEC quota is 1.5 now.
It's because you could not meet up with you've been shouting 2 million or 2.4 million barrels per day for how many years, and you have not been able to achieve it. So even the 1.5 that OPEC gave us, we are not able to we are not meeting it. So if you reduce crude oil theft and increase production, definitely you will see the positive impact. Because it means all those forward agreements that you have, that I will give you 5,000 barrels per day, I will give you 8,000 barrels per day, I will give you 10,000 barrels, you'll be able to meet them. If that portion that you are able to recover from from the crude oil being stolen, if you are able to save, let's say, an additional 100,000 barrels per day, you just take that to support whatever forward obligations you have. So you understand? So I support that they should
support local refiners.
Support local refinery. And that is why the president said, sell to Dangote in Naira. But you see, one thing is, he has given a policy direction. It's not left for people around him, including the NMPL or whatever, the PCL, to now sit down and flesh up the policy. He has given the policy direction, say, sell the Naira. It's not left for the people around him.
Details has to be worked out.
By the people around the Ministry of Petroleum Resources, NNPC, and the
other stakeholders.
Say, okay, good. President has said we should sell to you in Naira. We are ready.
What are the details?
Exactly. So let's sit down. If you produce this, what is the quantity of petroleum PMS that will be selling to the local that you assign to local consumption, that will be selling in the industry, that you will be selling to local consumers? Then the one you will be exporting, we will need you to be bringing back certain percentage of the proceed. Nobody is saying they want to collect it from you. It's still your money. It's just like when you export anything now, they expect you to repatriate the proceeds. So now we need you to bring back so that CBN will be able to support our reserves. They need that understanding is key. It's not just for Dangote to be shouting that, oh, Federal, I need help, I need this, I need that. You understand? So he who comes to equity must come with clean hands. So he has to say, okay, yes, I understand. But let's work out.
A give and take.
Yeah, let's work out how we can operate this with everybody. It's a win-win thing.
For everybody.
So that is it. So I believe that if the refiners, that is the refinery operators, I know they have an association, because some time ago I saw the chairman of the association on Arise News. So they have an association. They should sit down with the NNPC and the Ministry of Petroleum Resources and work this out.
In everybody's interest.
Yeah, that is it.
National interest is key.
and work. So that is, to me, that is key. And also at the same time, government should look out for saboteurs. There will always be saboteurs. People that will want to sabotage the process because of their individualistic interest. So that should also be taken care of. Because if you close your eyes to that, this thing will not see the light of the day.
You talked about, we have heard it, oil theft, oil theft. As an insider, what does it mean, oil theft, crude oil? How do they steal crude oil?
Okay. You know, you have point of, let's say the well head is somewhere. I will use Ibadan as an example so that it will be very clear. Let's say the well head is somewhere here at Okado here. That means you have drilled the well, just like borehole.
Yeah.
You know, when they drill borehole, they will now cap it. That is similar to drilling for crude oil. So they'll put a wellhead. So there's crude oil here, the wellhead is there, they connect the pipe to it. Now, they will now lay pipe from here to the, either if it is on the IC, they will have what we call FPSO, floating storage production facility. It's like a vessel, big, very, very big vessel that the pipe will connect to, where they will now produce and separate and get the crude oil. Because the crude oil, they will pipe it from the wellhead, either from that place or to the flow station, right? So you could have like 10 kilometers pipe from the wellhead to the
flow station.
Yes. It could be 5 kilometers. It could be 10 kilometers. Along the line, it's just like our normal water pipe. Somebody can cut it and tap into it along the line. Because this thing is either across the forest, you know, the Niger Delta terrain, the way it is, the riverine. And Yoruba will say, you can't know the terrain better than the locals. So this pipe will pass through their community, through forest, through swampy area, through canals, through water, before it gets to the flow station. Do you understand? Aha. So it could be several, it could run into several kilometers. So along the line, various people, oil thieves, will cut into those pipes and put their own pipe.
Leading to vessels.
Yeah, the pipe that is taking crude oil from the wellhead.
When they now cut it and tap.
And tap. It's just like you run, that's why I say it's like water.
Yeah.
You run water from your borehole or you run your water pipe. And you now say, no, you need to connect, you now tell your plumber, you need to collect water to this room. Maybe he's taking it to the third building. You now say, no, you need to connect water to this second building as well. So what you will do is to
use the necessary tool.
Yes, and cut the pipe and put another T
junction.
Yes, sir. T pipe. Do you understand?
To divert.
And divert it to that other building.
So, sir,
so as the water or the crude oil is going,
yes, sir. So it's still going that way too.
Intended location, part of it will be going to.
Now, sir, what kind of containers? Is it vessels that they use?
So now, those that are, if you have been watching the TV or whatever, or you go to Niger Delta, some they will do it perfectly well. That means you know that it's an organized criminal thing, because they will put the T very well, very neat, and connect it, so there will not be any spillage or whatever.
That can raise suspicion.
Yes, and connect it. Just like when your plumber connects your water. So, no leakage, nothing. They take that other extension, that pipe, to wherever they want.
A vessel?
It could be drums. It could be any container. It depends on
their capacity.
Their capacity. The problem is in that place, because they are stealing it, it's either they don't have capacity to manage the quantity. And that is why there will be pollution, there will be spillage, and the community will not be shouting, no, E&P company has caused pollution in our community. It's because, no.
Yeah, their own people too.
It's because of crude oil theft. Because they don't have capacity to manage the quantity. Do you understand? So that is one angle of oil theft. That means they cut through the pipe. Very thick pipe, down the inside the ground. But they will, because they are the community people. These people that are stealing crude oil will not just come. They use the community people to work for them. Because they understand the terrain very well. So that's number one. You understand? Then, even from the flow station, they can also steal crude oil.
From the flow station?
Yes. At the flow station, you have the DSS, you have the Army, you have the Navy, you have the NUPRC, that
upstream regulation.
You have all sorts of regulators there. But the question is, at the end of the day, they will say, this tanker has come and it has taken 300,000. It has taken 300,000. It has taken 300,000 barrels, right? The question is, how are we sure it's not 500,000 barrels they loaded into that tanker?
That's virtually official transaction.
Yes.
Official criminal transaction.
So that one also happens. I can tell you that. So it means it's not just the one they tap from the pipelines. Even at the flow stations, when they will load tankers. Recently, they saw an oil tanker leaving our water towards Equatorial Guinea side, fully loaded. The oil tanker left a flow station. So now the question is, we have our Navy, the naval officers or the vessels manning our waters, the Coast Guard. Yeah. So how did the oil vessel tanker enter into our water? That's number one. How did it get to the flow station? After loading, and it's not something you load in one day. It can even take 30 days. Then they will load the tanker, it will leave the flow station, come back through the channels and enter into through Nigerian waters into the IC. So it's not just the tapping.
It will be piloted.
So it's not just the tapping of the pipeline alone. So that's what I'm telling you.
Wow.
So it's an organized crime.
It's
an organized crime.
Yes. We go for a short break now. Well. When we are back, we'll be talking about finance. And we say Nigeria has a challenge in terms of income. We're going to be looking at that and other related issues. I'll be back shortly. Thank you so much for staying with us. Still Solutions 93.9 FM. The show this Sunday afternoon, the 25th day of August, is Pendulum. And of course, the conversation this afternoon is Nigeria Matters are arising. It is one of the series of Which Way Nigeria. And I have in the studio live with me, eminently qualified. I always say when I have him in the studio, it's like having 4 guests, solid guests. The issue of finance, the issue of oil and gas, I mean, a political leader, an entrepreneur of note, someone in the communications industry, and a humanist. Of course, live in the studio with me is the Ààrẹ Onímọ̀ Balógun of Ibadan land, Olóyè Taofeek Adegboyega Adegoke, fellow Chartered Institute of Accountants of Nigeria. The conversation continues. It's been an engaging 50 minutes or thereabout. We move to other terrains. Before we move to other terrains, I talk about the issue of revenue. Also, Nigeria has an issue of revenue. Where is it about our tax laws? Is it about collecting the taxes? Is it about leakages?
It's all about it's about everything that you have mentioned or listed. It's about leakages, about competency, about knowing what to do. I'll give you a good example. There was a problem with an equipment, with a vessel, and the man he's been calling different experts to come and work on it. They couldn't. Then he called one expert, one guy. He got there, the man studied it very well, take his hammer, just knock a particular side of that machine for like 1 second and said they should start the engine, and the engine started running. So the owner said, but every other person have been trying to work on this thing, they couldn't. He said, oh, thank you very much. So how much is your bill? He said, $100. He said, I can't. Something that you did under 2 seconds. He said, yes, $100. He said, knowing where to knock.
In itself. Expertise.
Is $98. Knocking itself is $2.
Expertise.
Yes, knowing what to do. If you look at what is happening in FRS now, you will see that now we have somebody that is very intelligent, that is smart, that is a young man that is very dynamic, that knows what he's doing. That is Zach
AJISOPE.
Zach is doing a good job, and that is why every month you see that the FAC allocation keeps increasing. It has never been this good for the subnationals, all the states. They've been sharing money, smiling to the bank, because Zach is making money for the federal government, for the government, for Nigeria. Because this is an intelligent guy that is very smart. And also because he's working with somebody who also has finance background. Asiwaju himself is an accountant. Yes. So you see somebody, you are as good as your subordinate. You have the president that knows what he's doing, and you have Zach AJISOPE that is very smart, that will always think out of the box, come up with new things, come out with ways of generating more revenue. He has not introduced additional tax. Yeah. But revenue is increasing. You can see the difference. Not that they have increased company income tax to 40% or whatever. No, they have not increased company income tax. They have not done all that. Rather, they even want to reduce the tax, this thing, because there are various tax in Nigeria now.
Multiple taxation.
Multiple taxation. They are even trying to put it down using Oyedele.
Yeah.
Oyedele's committee. Taiwo Oyedele's committee. I know Taiwo because we were together in SAFE in Lagos. So now using Taiwo Oyedele, so he's even trying to reduce the number of this thing that we have, or because everybody keeps shouting multiple taxation. But rather, revenue is increasing because this guy is thinking out of the box, which is why Nigeria is. So it's not a problem already. Now from September, there will be what we call harmonized taxation, similar to what they are doing in Oyo State. It was even Zag that introduced that when he was the commissioner for finance in Oyo State. Harmonized, so that you are sitting on top of everything. You know what is going on in all the agencies of government, all the ministries.
Okay, all the revenue generating agencies.
Yes. So what they are saying is, look, You are an aviation agency. Your job is to provide aviation services to people, to airlines. Face your job. So whatever revenue that is coming in will come into
a central
so that we can have oversight. We can know how much is coming in. Then submit your budget. At least you are supposed to submit budget every year.
Yes.
So we will support you. Submit your budget. So based on your budget, money will be released to you. But we need to have oversight of what you are generating. So don't come and tell us that I have generated only 1 naira when you have generated 10 naira. So face your core job. Custom, face your core job. Agencies, revenue generating agency, Nigeria Port Authority, all of you, NIMASA, face your core job.
Who will do the managing?
We will manage, so we will centralize it, harmonize the bill, so that we have oversight of what is coming in and what is going out. So, and that is, so you can see the way revenue keeps increasing every month. Currently, what they are doing now, for instance, before this September that they have said the Minister of Finance already said it, some revenue generating agency, 50% of whatever they generate goes to federal government account now, federation account. Before, is whatever they declare that goes to federation account, and they will tell you, oh, they have not generated anything, or they've spent it. But now, whatever the case, 50% of whatever you generate must come
to the
federation account. Then you use the remaining 50% for your operating expenses to cover your operating expenses. Now they want to take a step further, which is the harmonization they want to introduce in September, which is good. Is because if you are running a company and you don't have oversight of what is coming in that company, you are not running a company. The company will go under one day before you know it. That is exactly what federal government is doing, and I like that. Oyo State government is also doing it. When you see on just one page, you will see revenue, charge for environment, charge for this, charge for that, charge for business
registration, and all
everything on the same page. So that money and every revenue head has a code. So that you can determine how much has come in on this revenue head for this year. And then you can plan ahead. So then government can now have oversight of the total money and they can plan. Say, okay, this is how much will come in, and it will help their budgeting system. Do you understand? So our problem actually is not, to me, is not revenue.
What about the tax net?
Yes, they are expanding the tax net, meaning plug the leakages, the loopholes, and that is good. Zach has been saying it since he got there that we will expand. We are not going to introduce new taxes, but we will expand. We will catch more people, bring more people, not catch, bring more people into the basket, into the net. People that are evading tax.
What is the difference between tax dodging and evasion, sir?
No, there's tax avoidance.
Avoidance, rather.
There's tax evasion, right? Evasion is criminal. Avoidance is not. Avoidance is you see a loophole that you can capitalize on to pay lower taxes, and then you use
take advantage of it.
Take advantage of it.
All right, sir.
Do you understand? It's like, let me give you a good example. You want to write a contract. If you call it contract of service, the withholding tax is 5%. Okay. If you call it technical contract or consultancy, the withholding tax is 10%.
So you take advantage of that, but that takes knowledge.
So if you use consultancy or technical in your contract, know that withholding tax is 10%. But contract of service is 5%. You see? So if you are not careful, you pay times 2 of what I will pay.
But that will require knowledge of
which is why you need to consult your expert, your either accounting expert or whatever, or tax expert, taxation expert, to guide you when you are entering into a contract. You don't just enter into a contract blindly. Because if you sign any contract and you say technical service, whatever you get, you must be deducting 10%. You don't understand? So that is what I mean by tax avoidance and tax evasion. So when you see a loophole and you, based on an expert that has explained to you that this is what you need to do.
You can take advantage of it.
You take advantage of it.
Legitimate.
So it's legitimate, yeah. So nobody will come and say you are a criminal. Okay. So that one's completely different from
tax evasion.
Yeah.
Okay, sir. Let's now move closer home. Talking about local government administration, earlier, you know, the state governments have actually hijacked the functions of the local government administration. But we had a Supreme Court judgment that seems to have taken care of that, but we're not getting implementation yet. The federal government set up a committee headed by the Secretary to the Government of the Federation. That's a Supreme Court judgment. What committee again for implementation?
You know, Nigerians, we are a very difficult set of people. We are very, very, very difficult. And you will see that immediately after the judgment, you will notice the reaction of some governors. They couldn't even keep it to themselves. You understand?
What's the problem?
We all want local government to perform because they are the closest to the people, to the grassroots. We were talking about Trumpson Road the other time, about local roads, community roads, little thing, culverts that they can build for their community, drainages. But you see, most of the state government, what they now do is all the revenue that should ordinarily go to the local government, that should accrue to the local government, all the dues that should go, all the fees, parks, everything, market fee, everything now, they now employ consultants to collect those money on behalf of the government. So now there's nothing left for the local government to collect. And the little that is even coming from federal allocation goes into an account called joint account with the state government. It means no chairman can single-handedly spend out of that account because it's a joint account. Do you understand? So, and what federal government is saying is, look, this third tier of government that is the closest to the people should feel them. And the only way people can have that positive impact is when we allow them to work. The same way federal government allow the state to work, to use their money.
They sit down and share the money.
So now that, to me, in order to enforce the implementation of the Supreme Court judgment, that's why federal government now say, okay, we even set up a committee that will check and be reporting back to say, because we have 774 local governments, and we know what the state governors have been saying. So the only way to help this local government chairman, first of all, is federal government said there must not be, or even Supreme Court said it, no caretaker committee or caretaker chairman again. You must conduct election. So let people vote for their chairman.
That they want.
Don't unpick and say caretaker for so local government, because that is what some governors were doing. They were unpicking and then say caretaker committee. You must conduct election. So that is part of what they are doing. 2, local governments should go and open their own bank account where the allocation for the federation account will go to. Right? So that even allow EFCC to do their job. And they should remember that local government chairmen they don't have immunity.
Unlike the governors.
So if you, then 3 now, 4, Supreme Court said, and I think that may probably, as they start conducting new elections, that will come into play, that local government chairmen should spend 4 years, not 3 years. Because currently, they have been spending 3 years.
It is determined by the...
Yeah. So, it must be 4 years, not 3 years. So, you see, federal government is trying to help the grassroots by empowering the local government chairmen. But local government chairmen also need to help themselves and help the community.
How, sir?
You see, if somebody said put your hand or fingers inside the fire, will you put it? And 2, they know that they don't have immunity. Therefore, the worst thing is you resign rather than go to jail. Because if you dip your hand into the cookie jar, at the end of the day, you will be called to come and answer.
As an individual.
As an individual. Everybody has his father's name. You have to bear your father's name. So, federal government has been helping you. They need to help themselves. You see, as the local government chairman, that is the best way. If you want to help your community, that's the best position to be, to hold, to contest for. Local government chairman of a local government, being the chairman of a local government is the best, because you are the closest to the community, to the rural areas. They see you every day. You relate together, you work together. See the way mayors operate in the US or UK. You are the closest. They see you every day. They don't see the governor every day. You understand? So you feel them. You see them every day. You drive through the area every day. You walk through the area every day. You know their problem. You feel their problem. You touched it. So you are in the best position to solve those problems. You cannot, because the governor might not even come to an area in his entire 4 years.
Except for campaign.
You understand? Even during campaign.
They cannot get everywhere.
You can't get to everywhere. But you, because that's why we have councillors. You can imagine.
Down to the ward.
Down to the ward. As we have Ibadan Southwest local government, we have 12 wards. 12, and that means 12 councillors. That will tell the chairman, say, in my area, this is what happened. The culvert is broken, is damaged. This and that. You see, that is it.
Real governance.
Yeah, real governance. So, but to get to the grassroots, local governments must work.
Sir, I am curious now. Will this now, when the local governments, the chairman and the entire administration of local government, they are empowered, they are working, they are loved by their people, can it change the dynamics of political power? Can the governor, when seeking re-election or gubernatorial candidates seeking, especially primary elections, delegates, the control of delegates, can it change the power dynamics?
It will. You see, they don't give authority, you take it. You take it. If you are waiting for somebody to come and give you authority, you are wasting your time. Now, you have the enabling law, the judgment, the Supreme Court judgment that supports you, that is backing you. You understand? What the governor will say is they will instigate the councillor to remove you, right?
But if you have the backing,
but that is it. So if you are doing the right thing, the people will be against it. The people will be against it, because the best the governor will do is they will just instigate the councillor, say remove him. He's not listening to us. But if you are doing the right thing yourself, the community will rise against the governor and say, look, remember, your party is still coming back to contest. Do you understand? So if your people like you, if you are doing the right thing, if you are supporting them, if you are doing project that is beneficial to the community, if you are giving back to the community, giving them dividend of democracy, they will always be there for you. That is it. So if nobody should say, I will be waiting for my governor to tell me that to go and build this road. You go around and see the road that is critical
to the environment,
yes,
and do it for them. Now, sir, still moving closer home. The traditional institutions in Ibadan is an enviable one. Everybody, it is predictable. It is predictable. But in the last few years, maybe since 2014 or 18 or thereabout, things looked a bit shaky. And there were litigations, and even up to the President Kabisi. And then we had, on the day of the installation of the new Olubadan, the 43rd, a gazette, a government gazette was being distributed, showing that there has been an amendment that says only crowned high chiefs now will be made Olubadan. What were the processes that led to that?
Well, you see, one thing that is constant is change. That is one thing that is constant, change. You cannot remain stagnant in a place. I always say movement is improvement. Stagnation is a disease. So every now and then you need to constantly review where you are, the situations, circumstances, so that you can then move forward. You don't remain stagnant in a place. So every institutions, we just spoke about local government. So they just introduced it by federal government going to Supreme Court and say, look, we need to give local government autonomy. That is, you understand? It wasn't like that last year, but now this year, that how can we improve the environment, the population? How can our people get benefit of democracy? Oh, it's through local government because they are the closest. So the same thing with the traditional institutions. So you see, what has happened in Ibadan is that even the traditional chiefs and Ibadan traditional chiefs itself as an institution accepted the fact that there's a need for reform. In fact, when Governor Laja was the governor, he started working on this reform. Then, not only in Ibadan, across Oyo State, traditional institutions. So it's not new. But you see, when you want to do any reform, it starts to come from within. Mm-hmm. Because you understand the institutions. You are part of the institutions. You eat, you dine with them. So you know more about the institutions. So outsider cannot come and tell you what to do and how to do it. But so that is where the problem is always coming from. If outsider that does not know more about the institution wants to tell you what to do, but the outsider can advise you that, oh, what are you guys doing with respect to reform? Are you working on something? Yeah, no problem. You can call the attention to it. But not that an outsider coming to do the reform for you. Do you understand? So the institution itself, Ibadan Traditional Council, they were already working on it. Because they have to, it's a continuous thing. If you listen to the history of Ibadan, because this is the third Ibadan Kini, Ibadan Keji, Ibadan Keta, it has only been before these two lines that we have. It used to be just one line. You understand? But as
everybody queued on that single line.
So not even queue, because then there were wars, they were always fighting wars, this and that. So then later, when wars, because as modernization comes, things started changing, wars started reducing. You understand? Then they now change the modus operandi. To me, that was a reform. Do you understand? So that's why I said it's the institution that itself that will reform itself, because they understand everything. So, and what led to the brouhaha during Governor Ajimobi then was because it was Governor Ajimobi that wanted to do the reform for them. Mm-hmm. Right? Mm-hmm. Rather than encouraging them to go and do it and then bring it for government's approval. You see, it's different.
Yeah. Top to bottom, rather than bottom to top.
It should be bottom to top, not top to bottom. So, gentlemen, our elders, please look into this thing, and if you need any help, any support, we are here for you. Rather than you imposing any reform on them. Do you understand?
So this one is internally generated.
So like this current one now, yes. When Oba Lekan Balogun took over, a committee was set up by the High Chiefs, Olubadan Advisory Council, let me put it that way, Olubadan Advisory Council, to look into the reform, right? And the committee came back to say to propose that they wanted to be wearing their beaded crown. They came back with that report. They submitted the report that says they would like to be wearing their beaded crown again, because you remember Ajimobi already gave them, some of them, that beaded crown. May so rest in peace. That beaded crown before the advent of Governor Seyi Makinde, and also because someone went to court during the crisis. At the end of the day, it was settled out of court and sanctioned by the court that they should drop the beaded crown. So it was the beaded crown that they dropped, that they said they want to be wearing all over again. They drop it. They now said we would like to be wearing our beaded crown again. That was the
consensus from inside.
From inside. And you know, in a democracy, majority will always have their way, and the minority will have
their own say.
Yes. So when you look at the advisory council, so majority said we want to go back to where we were before. We want to be using our beaded crown, and that was the report that was submitted to government. And government said, so you could see now that it came from within. Yes. So government said, oh, this is what you want, okay.
So be it.
The government now helped them to gazette it.
To make it official.
Make it official. Which is what has happened. So, and you could see that there is peace now in Ibadan land. No brouhaha, no noise again. But it doesn't end there. I can tell you that, you see, tomorrow now, it's another day. The same Olubadan Advisory Council or traditional institution can come up with another reform, because things have to continue to change.
Dynamism.
So it depends on the
to suit and meet
the situation on ground. So don't be surprised if tomorrow there's a new reform. But as of today, that is where we have. That you have to, once you are a high chief, the Olubadan, in His Imperial Majesty, the sitting Olubadan will crown you and give you the beaded crown. Once you get promoted to the high chief position. That's the current situation today. Yeah. Tomorrow, there could be a further reform. You understand? It depends. But as of today, you can see that there is peace. No problem. Nobody is quarreling with anybody again. Nobody is even talking about
it is over.
It's over. So to God be the glory that the issue has been resolved amicably. And that is typical of Ibadan. If you look at the history of Ibadan, there will be resolution. There will always be. There will always be. You understand? So, and we have actually lived true to our name and culture. That yes, there might be issue, but we will also sit down and resolve it. And it has been resolved.
That's a beautiful palace complex. It's even beyond a palace complex that we have there.
Yes.
Okay, we'll allow some of people out there listening and watching to call in to the studio. And you are free to speak either English or Yoruba. You can use the following numbers to reach us in the studio. 0909 888 9939. I will repeat that studio number. 0909 888 9939. The second number is 0912 222 2939. Oloye Taufik Adegoke live in the studio with me. Yes, sir. Let's talk about, as we approach what I call the home run, the leadership question in Nigeria. People say Nigeria's challenge has gone beyond leadership. That there is also probably more difficult a followership challenge. What's your position on this?
You see, leaders always come from the followership because they don't drop from heaven. So they are. So you see, the problem is, yes, there's leadership problem because, and when you say leadership problem, it's political leadership problem. It's not general, so we should not generalize it. It's political leadership problem. That when we have leaders that know the problem, that know where shoe pinches, that wants to solve the socio-economic problem of his people, they are, I mean, we need them. They are scarce relative to demand. And the reason is followers themselves at times push leader into doing wrong things. Because if, for instance, you elect a governor to serve you and you know that, oh, this governor will perform better and this governor will deliver positively. But at the same time, you are the same people that will be chasing the same person to give you rice, to give you beans, to give you, rather than say, look, instead of this, go and do this road in our community. This is what you want in our community. Not few leaders that will gang up together and collect stipends from the governor. But rather, they come together and say, look, Mr. Governor, the road leading to so-so place is not good. The schools in our community have no roof. This and that, there's no water in our community. That is what we want. Then, that means you hold the leader, the governor accountable. Do you understand? That is the problem. But rather, if you collect stipends, how will you hold your leader responsible?
Since you have collected.
Yes. Okay. So if you collect stipends, rather than fighting for your people, the benefit of your people, the benefit of your community, the benefit of your village, of your town, of your local government, if you collect stipends, and that is the problem. So these people there, up there, they play on intelligence of the people.
Are the people ignorant?
They are not. It's because of selfishness. Selfishness. That's exactly what I'm saying. Because I don't see why. That's why I said the best position to contest for, to hold, is the chairmanship position of a local government. Because that is where you can impact positively on the people. That is where you can impact positively on the people. Where you have working dispensaries, working primary health center that are working, that people can walk in and treat themselves. But rather than going to primary health center, you see people going to secondary hospitals, like Adeoyo State Hospital.
Or even UCH, teaching
hospital.
That's
even tertiary. But it's because the primary health centers are not working. And that should be under the purview of the local government chairman. So the leadership problem that we have, we can turn it around. We can change it. But we have to first change ourselves. Because we are the same person. We are the same people that are leaders don't come from heavens. It is the followers that will elect them. It is the followers that elect them. It is the leaders that follow them, the leaders that hail them, the leaders that go to their house to beg for food.
This is our union, sir. We just mentioned something, particularly the issue of primary health care center. We have a National Commission for Primary Health Care, a federal union. What for? We have a National Universities Commission, a National Commission for University Basic Education. Is it the same thing? Is it the same thing that challenge that they have in Kara Namoda that we have in Bere, or is it the same thing in Yenoga to Unguru? Why do we need this national commission for local issues?
No. Like the primary health care, the National Primary Health Care Commission or agency is just to coordinate. If you remember what happened during the COVID, there's a central coordinator, National Center for Disease Control.
CDC, yes, sir.
You understand? They now work and relate with the state. Something is going on now, mpox, that is monkeypox. So they will be working with the state health centers, Ministry of Health, Commissioner for Health. So that must be a central coordinator. I don't see anything wrong in that. There must be someone to coordinate. That's why, you see, I said something at the beginning. I said there must never be vacuum in leadership. Somebody had to provide that coordination. Somebody had to provide that leadership for it to work properly. And you have international donors and agencies that want to, so they need single point
be
of
channeled
channel
through there.
So yes, so like World Health Organization needs single point. They can be. It's not easy to relate.
Deal with.
Yes. So that is why I don't have any problem with that.
All right, sir.
The only thing is there must be proper communication. They must work together. There must be proper handshaking. So, and proper one. Once it's proper, there will not be any problem. Once they are communicating, look at what happened between currently in the one Chinese company is seizing our presidential jet all over the place. Nigeria assets all over the place. Just because there was no proper communication between the Ogun State government and the federal government.
Yes. Synergy. All right.
Synergy.
All right.
So there must be synergy. There must be proper communication. Right. They must work together. So I don't have problem with the National University Commissioner, National this Commission, National that Commission, because their job is to coordinate. We have 36 states, including FCT. Therefore, somebody must be at the center that will coordinate. So, like the case of primary health care center, primary health care, somebody has to coordinate, somebody has to liaise with the donor agency, and then liaise with the local, with the state, and then work with the state to be able to, for that benefit to get to the people. So that is it. I don't have a problem with that.
As we wrap this up, sir, I want your final word. Is there hope for this union, the Federal Republic of Nigeria? And if there is hope, where lies the hope?
Well, there's strength in diversity. There's strength in diversity. Even if you look at our new national anthem, it says the same thing. Though Tabaton may be different
in brotherhood.
So there's strength in diversity. All we just need to do is use it properly, use it well. We can use it. If we use it well, there is strength in diversity. Because, you see, the southwestern part could be good in one particular area. Or even our soil could be good for one particular product or produce, farm produce. While in the north, for instance, tomato grows better in the north than in the south. The reason is there's a particular temperature in the night that tomato needs, which you can only find in the north. In the night, there's a particular temperature. It's not in the south. Not that tomato cannot grow in the south, but it grows better in the north because of that temperature. The same way, look at Irish potato. It grows better in Plateau because of the climate compared to. So there is strength in diversity.
We should take advantage of it.
We should take advantage of it. Honestly, if we do, we will benefit. We will benefit. It's like it's a synergy where 1 + 1 is not equal to 2, but 3 or 4. So to me, we should take advantage of our diversity. Look at mineral resources all over the place. What you have iron ore in Kogi, you have lithium in Samvara, you have
bitumen in the whole of Ondo State.
So you can imagine. We just need to annex these resources and work together for the benefit of the citizenry.
Thank you very much. In 1 hour, 30 minutes or thereabout, I have been in conversation, a very deep one, a very incisive and illuminating one. We have taken advantage of his capacity in so many areas, in finance, oil and gas, issues that confront us, political leadership, and of course, entrepreneurship. I've been in conversation, and of course, communications. This is AWENI Communications, and of course, Solutions 93.9 FM, the arrowhead of that setup. Yes, I've been in conversation with Oloye Taofik Adigboyega Adigoke, the Are Onibon Balogun of Ibadan land. I thank you so much. And as we look forward to the lifting, I wish you all the very best. And may God Almighty crown on your effort and your heart's desires. Thank you. It's a wrap on Pendulum this Sunday afternoon. It's a wrap. Solutions 93.9 FM, still the station. I thank you, our listeners, and I thank you, our viewers. And I thank my producer. I can see Aderemi on the wings. And of course, the GM, Mrs. Fumichima. Thank you. God bless you, and God bless our union. Bye for now.
ṣàkó olóòjé ọmọ afọ̀bẹ̀kẹ̀ jagun ẹ̀kọ̀rọ̀ ìhòlólóòjé jagun gbáọ́nì ọmọ alámàsá ọmọ àpèjọyè àwọn lọmọ olómi tẹ́rẹ́rẹ́ èdè gbìngbìn tàwẹ̀dẹ́ lolómi tútù ẹ̀sìn òkè tá